Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're going to give you our review. We is no we, it's just me. My sidekick is still in recovery mode. So thank y'all so much for y'all love and support. But let me go ahead and get into this review. Stay tuned for more.
We keep it real. Expressing how we feel. Whoa. So come on in and sip some tea. Join the Kourtney family. We're about relationships and review. Making it fun and just for you. Go with God, let God go with you. It's time for Kourtney and Eddie.
I always put God first.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Kourtney, and of course, my husband Eddie is not here on today. He is still recovering. So thank y'all so much for clicking that play button, joining this review. And let me tell you what this channel is all about. It's all about relationships, humor, and all the stuff my husband be saying, child. I'm out the loop on that. I used to say it, but honey, I don't even know what to be saying now because I can't even remember it, okay? As it takes two to run this. All right. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Make sure you guys, if you're new, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you comment down below. Make sure you like it, share it, and do all the things. Hopefully my husband will be back next episode so that, you know, he can give you his commentary on what he think about the show. All right, so it starts off with Latrice and Ken. So it seemed like they the center of this episode, really, because all of their issues and stuff. So they meet up with Kim and Maurice basically to kind of get some advice. I don't know what for, because Ken looked like his mind was already made up, child. He was just there because production said come and do this, honey. He was there to eat the food and all that stuff, child. So he wanted to get like Maurice take on how he handled the situation with Kaya. Well, I'm glad they showed the clip because I had to try to remember that lady name. So Kiowa and Kimmy and the situation that went down with them. And if you was brand new, if you watch this from season 1, then you just kind of know, and 2 and all that stuff, whatever, you kind of know where they are now. And it seems like, you know, they're in a good space as far as Kimmy and Kiowa, I guess, child. That lady said, listen, I don't want to be a part of this no more, child. So I don't know, but hopefully they are in a good place and space. So they showed clips of that and everything. So he was like, you know, I know the situation that went down where I guess Ken was watching the show. Was he watching the show? How you know? Did you watch a clip? Anyway. So, you know, Maurice kind of gave his advice and stuff like that. And I don't know, that was pretty much it. You know, they were just talking about the way that Marquez busting and all that stuff, whatever. And, you know, it really wasn't much as far as that. So let's move on to child Martel, honey. And Martel is meeting up with Destiny at the furniture store because he said that, you know, Ariane is moving in with him. Okay. So when Destiny get there, she's also looking for some furniture and stuff like that. And so he said that he told her, you know, oh, Ariane moving in with you, you know. And she was like, so you gonna, you know, put a ring on it? He was like, well, not yet. You know, I'm gonna wait until, you know, marriage and stuff. Guess he's trying to be, I don't know. And so she was like, oh, okay, so you're gonna wait to marriage. So, you know, but y'all just moving in together. But actually she's moving into his investment, you know, property or whatever. So I got confused. So is she moving in with you, or is she just moving in a place to where you have investment property? But it looks like he said, nah, I won't be there. Make up your mind, brother. The people, like, make up your mind. Either she moving in with you or she not moving in with you, but she's moving in something that you own. That means that you'll be taking care of all of that. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got to worry about no bills. Is that what you're saying? But it just, anyway, child. Anyway, child. So he said that, you know, that Ariane is a wifey material. And you know, she do all the things. She cook, she respectful, all the stuff that she do for me. I'm gonna put a ring on it because she makes sure I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm straight. Okay. Well, I hope you husband material, honey, because it takes two, child. Because people be in these marriages, honey, where the woman is wife and material, but the husband is still for the streets material. That's what he is. So it got to be twofold. It got to be both of y'all. I'm husband material because I'm faithful. I am provider. I make sure that my wife is happy. She has the things that she needs. Da 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 da. I'm wifing material because of da 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 da. Can't be just she wifing material. It's so funny to me because when I was dating and stuff, a lot of men wanted the woman to be wife and material, but child, they still want to be for the streets. So you want to have a wife slash girlfriend or whatever you want to call it, to make sure that your house straight, cooking, cleaning, all that stuff, whatever, but you still don't want to make it official. You don't want to be the husband. You don't want to be that faithful, committed for a time boyfriend and all that stuff or whatever, but you just want bye. Bye. But anyway, he said that, but right now he's not gonna put a ring on it because he's still trying to get over the divorce. I want to know, can y'all tell me? Because I don't know, really don't care how long this divorce done been, child. It done ran through the mud, through Mississippi, through back to Georgia, honey. It done ran through the streets of Alabama, Huntsville, Birmingham, Anniston. I mean, like, baby, that lady has moved on. Why you has not? I just always think that I feel like this, that a lot of times that the person that is that files for the divorce, they move on. You know what I'm saying? You file for the divorce. I don't want this no more. You move on with your life. And you get over your hurt, you get over your pain, you get over all that stuff, whatever, but you move on. But the person that gets divorced, like the person that is receiving a divorce, sometimes it takes them forever and a day if they ever move on, because that's not something that they wanted. That's not something that they initiated. And so it probably is taking Martel because he probably was still is, or was, or still in between that, in love with his ex-wife. And meaning that they do have to co-parent. So it's not like they don't have to see each other. I don't care if somebody say, hey, I'm going to drop the kids off so you won't have to see him or her. There's still going to be interaction because the child going to be like, yeah, my mama said, yeah, my mama told me I can't, yeah, my dad said. So it's still the consistent hearing of their name. You know what I'm saying? And probably bringing them back to a space. But child, honey, we the people is tired, honey. We is tired. If you're going to move on, move on. But anyway, so he talked about that and stuff like that. So it makes no sense to me. But Ariane, honey, I guess this is what she worked hard for, honey. She worked, she put in the work, honey. I'm gonna stick beside him. She did the things she needed to do, and now he may put a ring on the girl. He may, not sure. He still got his wife on the front of his brain, so he may, girl. But okay, he gonna put you into his investment property. He ain't moving in until you get married, but okay, you wifey material though. You can cook, you respect you all the things that he need, but okay. I mean, it's still not given. It's still not a look. You know what I'm saying? It's still not given, especially the last episode. And Destiny asked, you a one woman man, and he took forever to speak. So it's still not given, but okay. So anyway, and I don't know. Now that I think about this, is this something that Martel is making up just so he can have a storyline? I'm just saying. I you know what I'm saying? Like, post the pictures, do all the things so that the public can believe that you are going to marry Ariane and stuff like that. And it's really to a sham and a scam. But Destiny was talking about Lance, and of course, I didn't see a lot of her scenes with Lance and stuff like that because I wasn't watching it. But she was just saying that he wasn't relationship material and all that stuff. So I guess him having a baby, it probably affected her, but not so much. So, she was just like, she's not surprised. But Martel said this, and let me coach you on how to get a man. Okay, bye. Next story. Child, coach me on how to get a man. Somebody need to coach you on how to be faithful to one person. Coach you on how to get over your ex-wife. Because she was like, you need counseling, bro. You need therapy. I don't want to go. Coach you, honey. You need a coach and a squad and the football team and the players and cheerleading. You need all of that. But let's move on. So Marcel and LaTisha, I said the last time. I think Miss Barbara, she said, you didn't say nothing about Scott Manor. I said I wasn't. I wasn't even about to, because they've been working on this since Jesus was a little baby, honey. sucking the bottle, eating the baby food, honey. They've been working on this, honey. We done took a break, been gone. How many 4 seasons, 2 seasons, whatever seasons we been gone, and child, it still ain't a Scott Manor, honey. It is make believe like Sheree House, child. Yeah, I don't know if you watched the Housewives, child. What it was, a Chateau Sheree, child. Been working on, honey. What in them joggers, spring, summer. Yeah, it's one of them. It's giving one of them, honey. It's giving one of them. But you know, they said it's underway and they showing us everything and the pillars and the poles and all that stuff or whatever. And LaTisha did say this been going on since 2019. I said, Chad, that is a good 6 years. A good 6 years, yeah. And I think she said it took a bunch of years just to I guess break the ground or whatever you want to call it. So, honey, we as the people is not shooting for this, honey. Them children will all be grown. And y'all will have grandkids, honey, running around the house, child. Y'all God, man, y'all still be, hey, who gonna be in that house? Them kids gonna be grown. Like y'all ain't got. I mean, right now they sharing a kitchen. They sharing one bedroom. Excuse me, one bathroom. Well, honey, y'all might as well, y'all gonna have vacant bathrooms by the time this house get underway because those kids they will be in college. They will be. They'll be grown and gone, child. Anyway, that was my take on it. So we all know, honey, that's a fantasy right now, Jared. And I don't understand that it takes time, but not no 6 years. I not no 6 years. But she also is asking Marcel, like, are you working on my office? What's up with that? And stuff like that. And so he was like, yeah, spring, summer. Joggers. He doing, yeah, spring, summer, honey. Child. He doing her like that too. And so he was like, maybe 30, 45 days. And he said business days. Now, child, that's taking off 2 days out of the 30. That's adding on 2 days in the 30. So yeah, 45 days, child. 45 days. Let's go with that. And so she was like, no, I'm gonna need that like ASAP. Okay. We see. Tisha was also saying, I want to celebrate my mama too. So, and he was like, she was like, she got a food truck up. She got the things going on. I'm so proud of her. He was like, nope. And then so she was like, and this space right here could be for my mama. She could have her own room and all that stuff. He like, nope, get somebody else to do it. So in the next thing you got Marcel is, we got Maurice is meeting with Marquez. Now Marquez is a whole basket case. Like he is unhinged, child. And y'all need to let that ticking bomb like off this show, honey. He is truly unhinged because he don't need no camera time, no air time, or nothing. Not saying that what Tricia and Ken is doing to help feed in some of that. A lot of that is his own. It's his own job because I didn't see him gas like the whole situation. And I'm a new person just coming to watching, and I see it was gaslit. So Marquez is just going to Maurice once again for production chat because, honey, your mind is made up anyway. So he said that I want to get some advice and stuff like that or whatever. And he was like, well, you're an attorney. He's like, Maurice, like, I don't get into the matters of the heart. This right here, honey, will have everybody. Honey, because when folks be like getting a divorce and they be enraged, child, they have been took out of everybody. But so he was like, nah, I don't do that and stuff. So he was like, well, I feel, Marquez was saying, I feel like that Ken is a good match for her. He is like her dad, and I can see why she in love with him. I was like, okay, that's big of you to say. So he said, I can see why she in love with him, but I can never be her dad. So, it really truly didn't work for us. And so he was saying, well, when we first got married, a lot of people, I think, I don't know, his dad or somebody was saying that, this wouldn't last 5 years. And we did 5, 10, we did on and on. And Maurice was like, well, was that you trying to prove a point? He was like, yeah, I was basically trying to prove a point. He was like, so what is it? Why would you stay with somebody that don't want to be with you? Like, why would you do that? And he was like, she want to be with me. It was really Ken that's pushing her to get a divorce. So, he was like, she never said she didn't want to be with me. I was like, bro. Since y'all be using bro a lot, child, my grandbaby was saying bro. I was like, she been influenced by her daddy. bruh, but she wasn't talking to me. She was playing a game, and she was like, bruh. But anyway, so he was like, I know that, she never really truly, she never said that, was really Ken inspired. And he told her to break up with me and all that stuff, whatever. And he was also saying that, Marquez said it's his idea to really and truly, I guess, to let her go on and let Ken have it. I was like, really? Really, it's the delusion for me. But sometimes people need to hold on to certain delusions, and it just helps them to process and just be okay and not harm nobody. So I guess the delusion is there for him. So okay, keep on with your delusion, because he was like, well, I let her go on, and Ken really and truly should thank me that I let her go or whatever. I'm okay. So he was like, in my world, what would be perfect for me is for us all to come together as a family and be on vacation. Like Maurice was like, that's delusion, honey. Once again, that's delusion, because that's not gonna happen. Like, it really and truly don't need to happen. And I can say this for me, it wasn't a delusion, because I know it wasn't going to happen for me. But I think it is good if, if when people get a divorce and they go on their separate ways or whatever, if, and I wouldn't say vacation, but if you just come together for like family events, for on behalf of the kids, and everybody's cultural and everybody's copacetic and everybody's cool. Like, you done got a divorce, you done went on with your life, and this person went on, and nobody has animosity, no hurt feelings. Everybody feel like, okay, what we did was for the best for us, and we have cut ties, and I think it would be good for people to come together. Like, I can even say in my situation, I kind of thought that would happen, but then looking at the outcome, I said, no. No, child, because see, my ex is a little bit of a Marquez. A little bit, child. And I don't got time for it. I don't got time. I don't got time. I do not have time. So when we're in, spaces only behalf of the grandchild that we share, is a good high and by for me, because it's one of those, it would never be, we gonna be on nowhere chilling together ever in life. Ever. And being the fact that it was a male Martel and an Ariane situation, nah, that won't happen. But I think it's good when people can do it. But you got to understand that if this other person is petty and they picking and they like to gaslight and do all those things, it'll never happen. You know what I'm saying? It'll never happen. One person move on, but the other person just like stuck. Yeah. So Tisha and MJ, she is having a conversation with him in the car, and I need you to keep your eyes on that road, Chad, because you was lingering a little bit too much to the right, a little bit too much. I said, what is it? Is production in front of them, and the car is being drugged by a tow truck or something? Because honey, she was. I said, girl, if you don't look, you don't. That ain't how you do it. But she was looking like y'all was sitting in the living room somewhere, honey. You was gazing a little bit too long to be driving, but that's my observation. So basically she was just having a conversation with him, just saying, listen, I'm gonna miss you. You graduating high school in 2025, going to college. I had you when I was 2025. Look at the irony of that. And he's just like his daddy. Like, the facial expressions, the what is it, the sarcasm and stuff like that, because you can just read his body language. He probably would really go in with his mom, or anybody. He probably got his daddy mouth child. He definitely got his daddy face, but all them kids got his daddy face. And so she was just saying, I'm gonna miss you. You're going off. I really truly don't want you to go to Michigan. That's too far. I actually want you to go somewhere where I can just pop up. But if you go too far, I'm gonna have to get a townhouse or something around the corner. He was like, we're not gonna do that, mama. It is my time to shine. Y'all been around me. I done been raised in front of these cameras partly. And I need my space. I got two sisters and I'm just ready to go. So yes, I'm gonna go somewhere where probably ain't no cameras around. Ain't nobody gonna know my name for real, where I can just be me and do me. So yeah, he probably like, yeah, he ready to skip on, child. So she was just like, it's gonna be hard. So she asked him, will he miss his dad? He was like, yeah, a little bit, but my dad, represent the pillar for me. I was like, oh, that's powerful. And that's good that a son can say that about his dad, like for real, that speaks power to the influence that Marcel has on his son. And so she was like, oh, okay, that's powerful. What am I, honey? So he was like, well, for me, you kind of represent alignment. So in her confessional, she was like, moms kind of get, I guess the bad end of the stick because a lot of times we're the disciplinary, we cook, we clean, we do all these things. And then, she was saying for Marcel, he doesn't have to show all of that authority figure as far as, being stern, do this, stop doing this, go here, put this up, and disciplinary. And she does. And, he just kind of, Marcel just kind of like fun, when they want to be fun, he ain't going to be strict and all that stuff, whatever. So, I guess that's, his viewpoint. But to say that his dad is a pillar, that's still powerful. So Ken and Tricia, they meet up at the house. They at the house. This way go all the straight child, go just to the left. And so they invited Sharon to apologize. Child, she could have stayed at home. She could have stayed at home, child, because first of all, she should have came there before the other dude came there. But anyway, so Marquez, he walked in. Come on in, child. It's your house too, honey. Pick up a bill while you here. So I don't understand why he once again did that. And so she would, because he run the doorbell for what? You should just walk in. Is you walking in because you know that the door is open because production in there? Why is you walking in? None of that excuse your bad behavior because, honey, ain't nobody walking. I was like, do y'all not lock the doors? Even if production, he'll lock the doors. Lock the door. Especially, this man coming. Lock the door, honey. Let somebody introduce and welcome you into my home. Don't you just walk your little happy feet up in here. So anyway, he did that crap again. So Tricia, when she was sitting down, she was like, did you hear us say, come in? He just bypassed that because Ken was like, don't worry about that. That's tedious right now, So as they were sitting there talking, Ken was like, like Marquez, we need to set up boundaries. And he was like, well, we should have set up boundaries 3 years ago when y'all met. Did he not say that? I mean, that's why I thought I heard meaning that I guess they met. And thank y'all so much for explaining, I appreciate y'all for giving me the heads up and kind of explaining where we are and how we got here. It didn't take much explaining, meaning so what I'm saying? It just it don't make sense, but I appreciate y'all for giving me the information. Because yeah. So he was like, that's when we should have set up boundaries 3 years ago. Ken said, Ken was just talking about the fact that you just walked into my home. She told me about the last time you just walked into my home. And Marquez said, well, my daughter, I didn't see a daughter. Did y'all see a daughter? I didn't see a daughter walk in. Maybe she don't supposed to be filmed or don't be filmed, but I didn't see a daughter walk in. But he said my daughter's hands was full. So I was helping her with the door. I said, she must have been the invisible because he walked slap in and I didn't see a daughter, but okay. So anyway, at that time, Sharon did what's right, run the doorbell, child. And Trish went and opened the door for her. And Marquez, ADHD, got to him, child. He was like, and why is she here? I was like, she should have been there the first time, but I want to know too why she there, but honey, because she ain't number fuel for this fight for you, honey. Because you finna just, he just unhinged. He is erratic, child. I would be scared for people involved because he just seemed like that switch, baby, is in between off and on, and all you got to do is just blow, and it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on. So as Sharon was coming in, he was just like, oh, well, why are you here? Because you invited this lady last time. She trying to get in my business. I ain't never met her before. And that's your friend. And you must have told her some stuff about me. But excuse me, lady, I apologize for last time. But he was being very sarcastic. Like none of that was, it was very like, passive aggressive type of behavior. I'm not really apologizing. I'm just being sarcastic to the fact of, do you need a seat? You want a drink? Get her a drink. I need a drink too. Can I get a drink? I was like, gosh, does he need medication? Like I don't, I would not want to be a part of production, child, with this little loose fire cannonball, honey. He, uh, uh, uh. Anyway, so and I guess it don't help the fact too that since he said that Trish was still in love. Well, he didn't say that, but he was like, what I'm saying, it really and truly was Ken idea for her to push for the divorce, and she never said she didn't want me. So I guess in his mind, he feel like that his ex-wife still want him, or wife, because I guess they ain't legally divorced yet. So now you see your wife, got her legs on Ken and stuff like that or whatever. So maybe that could have been a trigger for you. Anyway. Anyway, so he was just acting like, you want something to drink? I was like, is this your house? You walked in the door like this is your house. Now you finna ask her to get something to drink. I was like, I want to see him go to the kitchen, Chad. I want to see him go to the kitchen. He already opened the door. So he was like, can I get something to drink? I want something to drink. Because when they was up there drinking something, y'all ain't gonna offer me nothing to drink. I was like, bro, you don't need nothing. You don't need nothing, honey, because you don't need nothing to fuel whatever you got going on up here. But anyway, so Marquez said that, he was just talking about the kids being traumatized because of the stuff that's been going on. And Ken was like, they not traumatized, you know what I'm saying? And he goes Sharon. Sharon was like, and they not traumatized. And she tried. I was like, baby girl, don't chime in this. Just watch the fireworks, honey. Just sit back, honey. This 4th of July, just watch them fireworks, child, because it's gonna be an explosion. Can you not see? Honey, this right now, them is sparkles. They could have been sparkles. But honey, somebody is finna do that and hit that firecracker, and we finna, and now it's finna be like, girl, hush, hush, honey. You already seen that the man still they had he still had smoke for you, so just hush, honey. Don't intervene. I don't even know why you there. I don't even know why they got you there, Chad. So Ken said, no, the kids ain't traumatized, really and truly, I know that these are your kids, but this my family. Once again, I didn't watch all the stuff, but I can just see that, this dude, with name Marquez, he unhinged and stuff like that. And I just don't feel that was a good place and space to say that his kids is your family. That's just me. That's just me. Especially they still divorced. Like all this stuff is too raw and too fresh. And especially if this man Marquez feels like this woman is still like, it's still, he did say I can get her back if I want to. That be the delusion for me. That be the delusion for me. So in his mind, somewhere he feel like, okay, I can get this back. I can get her back if I want her. So, you know what I'm saying? Like she hugged up there with you, bro, but I know what I can do. Okay. So for him to say, yeah, I know them your children, but this is my family. So I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to be here for my family. He was like, bro, these is my kids. So that's when I think it got even more unhinged when he said that. And so he was like, you don't, and Ken boasting and bragging about the stuff that he do for his kids. I get it. But at that point, it just became an ego trip. You know what I'm saying? What they say, who got the biggest, you know what? Because at that point, it was just like, mm-mm. So he was like, you don't do for these kids. He was like, man, I just gave you like $500 for, I guess, his daughter's dance thing or whatever she got on. He was like, bro, $500. I guess he was saying that ain't nothing but gas money. So, so they go back and forth, and he tell, what's her name? He tell Tisha, no, Trish, that too many Latrice, too many in here. So anyway, he tell her that she need to take accountability, and Ken was like, everybody see me. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, accountability. Everybody see me. I go pick heads up. The principal see me. The teacher see me. The janitor see me, honey. The janitorial staff see me. The teacher's aides see me, honey. The people at the post office see me. At the grocery store see me, child. Anything I do, they see me. They ain't never seen you. And they don't see nothing but text message. Who's seeing that? Ain't nobody. So I'm assuming that Marquez lives out of state or out of town or something like that or whatever, because he was just saying something about him being in Huntsville and all that stuff, whatever. So, he blamed Tricia, and basically saying too that, in the court documents, she said that, that they ain't had no amount of kids together. And she said, you're a lie. And she went and got the court papers and stuff like that. And he was like, but them was probably revived or redacted or something like that or whatever. And so he was like, here go the court papers. And post sharing, that should never been there, girl. You don't, That's how folk get, as y'all say, unalive, child. Coming in for, I would have said, I ain't coming. So anyway, he was like, what you showing it to her for? I was like, Sharon. So anyway, they showing him the court papers and all that stuff. And, Ken get up, get mad, get in his face. He was like, bruh, okay, listen, sit down. I was like, ooh, Ken, they don't tell another grown man to sit down like that. And he said, I'm going to sit down, you sit down. Well, that didn't happen. And so Ken sat down. He said, now you get to sit down or get the F out of my house, or I will put you out my house. I said, okay, this is going real left on him. Marquez was like, just, chill out and all that stuff, whatever. And Ken was, because Marquez was up. Now, he was uptight now. Let's not, he was uptight. He was, doing all the gaslighting and stuff like that because he's going to tip his way up out the house. Then he had a little home court advantage because at that point, Ken was sitting down and he was kind of standing, talking up behind him, a little to his side. And then so he was like, just chill, bro, chill, bro. And Ken was like, oh, what? And then they try to pull him back. I was like, listen, ladies, that man is like a truck, child. What is y'all pulling him back for, honey? Y'all break y'all back and all that stuff, whatever. So of course it went dark after that. So we didn't get a chance to see. Not sure if we'll see what happened. But Ken just became unhinged as well. I get it. You was irritated and aggravated, but y'all need a mediator. Because at this point, nobody can be level-headed. Because the dude is going to gaslight y'all and make you feel like you're crazy and saying all this stuff, whatever. Just got to get up on your skin. And I see that. I done been there. I have been there. I know it. I'm quite sure we all have been there. But I've been there when a space of an ex to try to get up under your skin. That's why I choose not to engage. Thank God that I had my children when I did get a divorce and my kids were 18 and older. So I didn't have to do little to no interaction with my ex, and especially now. So, but when you have small kids together, it's rough. It's rough. I cannot even imagine how rough it can be, especially when you have somebody that's gaslighting you and saying stuff just to get up under your skin for a reaction. But anyway, child, y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? Let me judge the energy. I do like that the energy is what it is. Is the show, is it giving what it's giving? It's giving okay. It's really giving okay. But since Melody is not on there, I do feel that the show is kind of even keel. Because I know the last times we watched, they just dug it in the whole child, just every story around her. And I felt that was way too much. So now I feel like each person kind of has their own storyline to focus on and fixate on. Do or don't, because I don't want to see Martell and Destiny like filming together all the time. Like I would like to see Destiny's storyline. I would like to see Martell's storyline, and yeah. So I would definitely like to see what other people got, because Martell and Destiny filmed twice together, Chad, and talking about Ariane and what she did with Lance. I don't want to see that. So surely it's more to come. You know what I'm saying? So, but on that note, I mean, like I said, I like the energy. I feel like it's chilled. I feel like it's, a good, flow of energy, and especially from people in the comments. And it doesn't feel as toxic, as it was prior. But anyway, that's my take on it. Once my husband come back, hopefully he'll be back next week to be able to review the show and stuff, and I get his take on it. But other than that, I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you, and always put God first. Deuces. Hey!